Big welcome to you guys. If you are joining in on the replay, we are just waiting for people to log in. And I think we've just got Anastasia joining us now.
Are we live?
We are live. Hello, hello.
I can't see myself yet. Sorry. Let me. I don't know how to get myself. I guess I don't really need. Maybe it's better if I don't see myself. Actually, do I look okay though?
I can't see you. You aren't actually coming up at all. Your video is not playing.
Okay. Start video. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, there you go.
Is it? Oh. I don't know why it's not doing it. Sorry. Okay, here. I hope it works. Okay.
Yay! Hello.
It's a new computer too, so.
Yep. Well, that's fantastic. We've got Paula joining us. We may have one or two guests of our challenge joining us, which is exciting, but the others will have to catch the replay.
Yeah, that's good.
So, let me introduce you, because a lot of people will be watching this as a replay. And so to all of you guys that are watching this later on down the track and for today, a very warm welcome to our special guest, Anastasia, today. How do I pronounce your last name, Anastasia?
Yeah, I was thinking about that you've probably never heard it before. It's Akasha Kar.
Akasha Kar. Thank you. I thought I'm just going to ask you. I won't attempt it. Anastasia is from Nova Scotia in Canada, and she is a registered holistic nutritional consultant and a certified yoga instructor.
I'm just saying.
And she is very passionate about helping women with their health and looking at holistic lives. And today she is we're very blessed to have her sharing with us. Sorry about my dog in the background. Just simple breathing exercises that will benefit our daily routine during this challenge, where we're looking at energy levels and stress levels. So thank you so much, Anastasia. We are very honored to have you joining in on this, and we're very excited to just hear you share today. So over to you.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm really happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. I love talking about women's health and stress, and I love sharing any kind of tips that I know work for myself personally with other people, and hopefully it helps them as well. So I thought I would just share what I'm actually doing right now in my own life. And it's very simple. I kind of feel silly sharing this stuff sometimes, because it's like so basic, but it's sometimes the simplest things that are the most effective. And, you know, we're human beings. It's kind of natural for us to know how to take care of ourselves, but we just tend to not do it. So I think the key is to set aside time in your day where you regularly practice breathing. And for me, that's first thing in the morning. So I wake up and, you know, I'll just go to the bathroom really quickly, and then I'll hop back into bed, and I'll just spend 20 to 30 minutes, you know, before I turn my phone on, before I do talk to anybody or anything. I'm lying in my bed. And for me, before I breathe, I actually like to kind of set out an intention or a prayer almost. You know, everyone's got their own way of doing that sort of spiritual expression. So, you know, do whatever works for you if you want to add this element into the breathing practice. You know, you can even, you know, if you've got like kind of, well, I won't go into too much detail about what I do, but, you know, whatever works for you, do it, call it in, you know, cast it, whatever you do it. And then, so I just lie down, and I generally close my eyes. And you know, your hands can be anywhere. If you're into like chakra stuff, you can place them wherever you want, or Reiki, whatever. Or you can just lie down with your hands at your sides, palms up. And then I just start to breathe long, deep breaths in and out of my mouth. So I think this is similar to the Wim Hof method that a lot of people are into lately. So if any of you are into that sort of thing, that's kind of what it's like. I went to a ceremony where this was taught to me, and the breathing can be in a number of ways. It can be really slow, long, and deep, or it can be fast. And I like to switch it up, you know, because you kind of, you start to feel things and your breath starts to kind of want to do things. So you can kind of shift it, or you can be consistent with the style and way that you're doing it. So you're breathing in and out through your mouth, but you're focusing on expanding the belly first and then the chest. And then you exhale completely through the mouth. Does that make sense? So if I were to do it slow, I would just breathe in. I'm just going to do it. I'm normally lying down, so it's kind of weird to do it sitting, but you can also do it sitting. So I would just breathe in through my mouth, like I said, it's like very basic stuff. If I were to do it faster, it might look something like this. It would be and that is very powerful, because what you're doing is, yeah, it's rapid. And so you're super oxygenating your blood even more than with the long, deep ones. But the beauty of the long, deep ones is that you can almost do a bigger expansion of those areas. Like it's a more conscious expression. So depending on what you're going for, you would vary it, or, stick with one thing. So that is really powerful. Like it deeply relaxes me. So for anyone who practices yoga, it's kind of like getting into a shavasana state, a deep shavasana state, without actually trying to relax. It takes you there, and then you can play with it. And you can play with it in ways. For example, sometimes you'll be at the end of your exhalation and you might want to like pause there and savor it, that empty space. And the same thing can happen at the end of the inhalation, where you can just kind of linger in that fullness and that expansion. And that also allows that oxygen to just really circulate before you exhale.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what sort of things is it doing? Do you know what it's doing in our brain and our, other than obviously oxygenation, but how is it helping with that stress, with those stress levels?
Well, it's also very detoxifying to breathe in general, but especially that kind of deep, especially if you're doing it really quickly. With the relaxation state that it creates, that's a very healing place to be. If you can immerse yourself in even just a few moments a day where you're completely relaxed, that's very rejuvenating. And it kind of it really affects your nervous system, and therefore it would then affect the way your hormones secrete. But like what most people's problem, I'd say like pretty much everybody's problem, especially women, I mean, I can only speak from my own experience, we go through well, especially if you're a mom, right? Like the act of childbirth and pregnancy, and then the early years of child rearing is incredibly stressful on the body and on your emotions. And you're in a constant state of anxiety and survival mode. For me anyway, that was my experience. And to be honest, like for 3 or 4 years after my last child, I took a nap every single day. Like, that was kind of our quiet time when the kids were home. But even after they stopped taking naps, I kept napping. Like, I'd be like, okay, it's quiet time. Mommy's going to go for her nap now. It didn't always work. But, I needed that time to rejuvenate. And so, I used to do Reiki. I'd fall asleep halfway through, right? But for anyone who does take naps, this breathing exercise, that would be also a good time to practice the breathing.
Yes, yeah. And even just thinking from the aspect of having, when you are a mum and a woman, like you've just got so many things going through your mind, involuntary, And this is that moment where you take control of that for a moment and just slow down and allow your mind to rest. And I can see that would really be helpful in giving your head that space to have its own break.
Yeah, and you know, the thoughts will try and come in, like, you know, that term monkey mind, which a lot of people use. That's what the mind tries to do all the time. It tries to get your attention. But for me, in that golden period of that breathing exercise, I kind of remind myself when those thoughts pop up to be like, okay, this isn't the time for that right now. This is the time to just enjoy being completely in the moment.
Yeah.
So that's something to keep in mind too.
Yeah. That's powerful. Thank you. Did
Yeah,
you
no
have
problem.
anything else that you wanted to share today?
Um, well, I have another breathing exercise. I mean, maybe that doesn't appeal to people, or maybe variety is good. If you'd like me to share that, I can do that quickly too.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. Another really great one for women is alternate nostril breathing, which some people might be familiar with because it's pretty common in yoga. And there's lots of different ways to do alternate nostril breathing, but I'm just going to teach a full, complete alternate nostril breath. And it's simple too. So I generally do this one sitting up. So if you're not comfortable sitting on the floor, then you can sit in a chair. But I also encourage people to practice sitting on the floor because it's really important to know how to sit on a floor. You know, like we've become so used to sitting in chairs all the time. It's really not good. So anyway, you use your right hand and you use your thumb to block off your right nostril. And then I usually have my eyes closed. I'll keep them open because we're filming here. But I would inhale long and deep through the left nostril. And then you use your fourth finger to switch. So then you block off the left and you exhale through the right. And then you inhale through the right. And exhale through the left. So through the nose, you're inhaling and exhaling, right? And then you would do it again. You'd inhale through the left, exhale through the right, inhale through the right, exhale through the left. So what this does is it balances the left and right sides of your brain as well as your body. So you can look at that from a number of different perspectives. You can look at it as the feminine and the masculine energies. You can look at it as the parasympathetic and the sympathetic nervous system, the lunar, the solar, the yin, the yang. Generally speaking, and I'll just speak, you know, for Western civilization, we tend to be overly like masculine dominated. You know, that's like the doing and the thinking and the controlling and the just activity.
That action.
And so, yeah. And that's why we have so many hormonal issues, is because we don't balance it out with the opposite, right? So this is a good exercise for kind of bringing more balance into those areas.
Is there a particular time of day that is better done? Would you do that in the morning as well, or?
Well, you know, honestly, you know, especially if you're talking about moms, any time at all that you can get a few minutes to yourself is the best time to practice anything like this.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, you know, from like a meditative perspective, the best times for this sort of thing are before sunrise and like, you know, like sunset time. Those are like peak energetic times for just being able to go deeper into that contemplative space.
Yeah. And often I think people have their own body rhythms too. You kind of know when you're in a place, especially if you're used to journaling, you know when you're in a place where you're ready to just contemplate about things. And yeah, I think if either more, I suppose that straight sunrise or sunset doesn't suit you, maybe pick a time that you know that you can be in that zone of just being, where you can just think, relax. Yeah.
Yeah. So like maybe that might be after you work out, or if you do
Yeah.
yoga, it could be right before you go into Shavasana, or before you even start practicing any yoga at all. You could do it at the beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or if you go for a walk, maybe sit on a bench and do it there. Like honestly, anywhere and everywhere and anywhere.
Down by the washing line when you've hung out the washing.
Yeah, you got to
Um,
sneak it in.
that's it. That's it. Well, we really
Oh,
appreciate. Yes.
sorry. You know what I was going to mention is, of course, we can integrate aromatherapy into this
Oh,
breathing as
yeah.
well. How
Yes.
could I have forgotten that? So good ones would be any of the breathing formulas like RC or Raven or eucalyptus just on its own, or
Okay.
peppermint.
Yep.
Or if you're kind of doing like manifesting or affirmations or anything like that, you could use whatever blend you're using for that purpose, create a scent tent, put it over your face during, or whatever breathing you're doing. Even just having it on your hands while you're doing the alternate nostril would be really good too.
Fantastic. Yep. That's great.
Yeah,
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Anastasia. We really appreciate your time today. And I'm so glad this is on recording, because I'm going to be going back and practicing with you as you do the different breathing, just to make sure I get it right. And I just, look forward to putting into practice everything you've taught us today. So thank you so
awesome. Thanks for
much,
having
and
me.
enjoy the rest of your day. You're actually nighttime now, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep working and then go to bed. So
Yeah.
thanks. Good
All right.
night, or yeah, bye.
All right. Thank you. See you later.
Bye.